Hello everyone. So today we're going to talk about the sympathetic versus the parasympathetic in terms of the anatomy. All right. So I'll start with the sympathetic. So sympathetic is the fight or flight. Right. So we know that fight or flight. This is the rest and digest, and fight or flight. Okay. So in terms of anatomy, how do these systems work? Well, let's imagine that the nervous system, the sympathetic here. So, and this is like a person's head, and this is the rest of his body, right? So this area is kind of your spinal cord. Okay, so this is your spinal cord. And the way the sympathetic nerves work, it is from the T1, which is the thoracic first vertebrae, into the L2, okay, which is the lumbar, the second vertebrae. So from here to here, you can receive sympathetic signals. From where? From the spinal nerves. And the spinal nerves, they send, so how that works is, we have a preganglionic cell, or preganglionic neuron, right? So preganglionic neuron, it has, let's say that's it, the cell body, right? That's the cell body, and it has axons that bridges out of it. And so that's your cell body, that's your dendrites and all of that. So here, this part is considered to be in the central nervous system, right? So this part is in the central nervous system, NCNS. The axons, okay, are considered to be in the peripheral nervous system, okay? But in terms of the sympathetic, we have something called the ganglionic cells, shaped like that, let's say. So that is your ganglionic cell, or neuron. Ganglionic neuron. And what happens is that the preganglionic neuron has its neurotransmitters that it picks up with it all the way. And we have the ganglionic neuron, and we also have a postganglionic neuron. So something like that has its cell body, and it synapses, and then goes out, all right, to the make an effect. So this is the effector organ. All right, so this is your cell body, and what happens is that this is the post ganglionic neuron, and what happens is that your signals comes from the brain, and then to the preganglionic neuron. That preganglionic neuron sends that signals to the ganglionic neuron, where it synapses with the postganglionic neuron to finish off the signal to the effector. And we know that the sympathetic nervous system, it is the fight or flight. So what does it do? It dilates the eye. It pauses your digestive system. Okay, it works like that. But you have the parasympathetic division. So para means beside. So literally, it is beside the sympathetic. So what does that mean? Well, we have your, let's say that's your head. Say that's your head. Then you have the spinal cord, and then that's your rest of the spinal cord, and then you have the rest of your body. So the sympathetic division begins somewhere here in the brainstem, and somewhere here at the bottom, which is called the sacrum. So in the brainstem, that's your brainstem, and here that is your S2 to S4 vertebrae. So that's the sacrum 2 and the sacrum 4, plays a major role in the sympathetic nervous system. The thing is, the same thing happens as we said right here. So we have a preganglionic, then postganglionic neuron, then the postganglionic neuron. However, the sympathetic have much shorter preganglionic neuron and much longer postganglionic neuron. Okay, and the ganglionic neuron is closer to the preganglionic neuron. And that makes sense. Why? Because you want that sympathetic signals to be fast. So your brain sends those signals, it's very close. So that this thing is short in the sympathetic, and this thing is long in the sympathetic. In the parasympathetic, it's the opposite. In the parasympathetic, the preganglionic is longer than the postganglionic neuron. Okay, and that makes sense because in the sympathetic, you want the signals to be faster, transmitted from the brain to the ganglion, to the ganglionic neuron, to be synapsed and then moved around. Okay, and then we know the parasympathetic nervous system, stress and digests. It can resolve your digestion, reduce heartbeat, okay, and all these to calm you down. Okay, and this is just a quick overview of the anatomy of the synapses between the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Hope that was helpful. Thank you.